I apologize for the slight delay in network. The network is a bit challenging over here. The rain is about to fall or is already falling already. So tonight we are going to be learning practical skills, hands-on skill on how you can write a professional CV. On how you can write a professional CV. Please let me know if I'm live, if you can see my screen. Kindly let me know. Okay. All right, I think we are live now. All right, guys, drop your chat. Drop your chat. Let me know you are with me. Welcome to this webinar tonight. I will try as much as possible to see how fast we can go this night, and then we continue tomorrow. The network wasn't favorable, and then I'm having a kind of network glitch. So tonight I'm going to walk us through these components, and then we begin with the CV writing proper. All right, Elizabeth, I can see your chart. Network is not so good. Yes. All right, Lawal Solomon, I'm with you, sir. Thank you. I can see that. All right. Those in the mentorship section, in the mentorship group, please, I want you to go there and drop a chat and let everyone know we are live and let them join us immediately. Help me to do that. Let them know we are live. If the mentorship session is where I'm going to hold each and every one of us by hand and make us to be effective in this skill. I call it a skill of CV writing, a skill of cover letter writing, a skill for job search writing, which we are starting this night. We started yesterday. We are continuing with the CV writing. Yesterday we stopped at work experiences, and I talked about the action words that you needed to use or you need to use when drafting your achievements, your key achievements in that your job you have executed. Don't go to tell recruiters what you did, your responsibilities, duties and responsibilities. No, let them see achievement. Like from what you can see here, he said raised over 1 billion naira revenue for the bank through a customer gamification project, which triggers customers' transaction. This is an action word. Is a good achievement. When a prospective employer, a prospective recruiter sees such action words like this, it kind of enhances your chances of getting that job interview call. Mind you, CV are there to pass the first interview. It is your CV that passes the first interview. Your CV passed the first interview. The one that you are called for is to defend the message your CV sends to the recruiter. So your CV is there to send action-oriented messages, action-oriented information, not passive-oriented information. So in your work experience is there to tell action-oriented words. And I need to say this. I need to emphasize on this before I proceed further from this aspect. Your work experience, your skills, and your professional summary has to synchronize. There have to be a synergy. With what your work experience, with what your professional summary, your work experience, and your skill set is talking about. Your skill set should not be talking about certain heads, and your work experience is talking about another thing, and your professional summary another thing. No, there must be a synergy. There must be a congruence, something that interrelates with them And that is what your CV should be. Your CV should be that at the end of the day, the recruiter will say this and this and this is what I got from this CV. Not that this CV is talking, your work experience is talking about something else, your skill is talking about another thing X, whereas your work is, whereas your professional summary is talking about something else. So there must be a synergy. Please take note of that when drafting your CV, when drafting it out for people or for any other persons. All right, now that is what your work experience entails. That's where you see this. Now, for fresh graduates, I strongly recommend that your professional skills / personal attribute comes first before your work experience. Because for fresh graduates, we know that you have little or no work experience as regards to the industry. There is what we call relevant work experience, industrial work experience. You might not have related work experience as regards to the industry. So what we expect you to do as a fresh graduate entry job, fresh graduate job, is that you be more skillful than experience. So what you lack in experience, you make up in skills for fresh graduates. But for experienced graduates who have been in the industry for quite a time, your experience is what is needed. And in this case, relevant work experience. I repeat, for those of us who have been in the industry, those of us with experience, what is highly needed is your relevant work experience with achievements. It is highly required, it is highly needed that you state your achievements while working within the industry. So like this CV I'm using as a guide for us tonight is an experienced person's CV. So I'm going to be starting from scratch to prepare to start with fresh graduate CV. When we get into the practical section, I'm going to be using a fresh graduate CV for that particular section. Now I'm walking us through components of a professional CV. So after your work experience, for those of us in the experience line, but those of us as fresh graduates, your skills should come first. Now, here is the professional skills / personal attribute. Now, this person is a data analyst and then highly skillful. And when you see these tech skills, I don't know if unless you're a witch, or not you, unless that person is enemy of progress, unless that person doesn't wish the organization well, that he sees a CV like this, someone with such skills in that regard, in analysis, and not be able to call the person, seeing the achievements of raising over $1 billion, starting over projects and stuff like that, and also being skillful, having tech skills as regards to Python, Oracles, the Power BIs, the Tableaus, SQS, servers, and DevOps, Azuras, and the likes. This is what we call a loaded CV. Someone who is really loaded. You are just fully loaded. And one of the challenges we make when crafting CV is that some of us will now come and carry all our skills and work skills in one line. Imagine if I put these skills under this one. Imagine the space I'm wasting. One of the things the recruiter looks is the way you structure your CV as well. How well did you position your CV? Please, if you are just joining us, let me know where you are joining me from, and let me know if you are hearing me and at the same time you are getting value this night. Okay, now after this professional skills / personal attribute, this is where you put both your hard skills and soft skills. Some of us doesn't understand what I mean by soft skills. I have had someone says that you need just put relevant skills. There are skills that might not be relevant, but those skills are important. We refer to them as soft skills. Soft skills like communication skill, soft skills like interpersonal skill, leadership skill, listening skills. These are soft skills. Time management, those are soft skills. Ability to facilitate and build up a team. Conflict resolution skills or management skills. Presentation skills. These are soft skills. Adequate attention to details. These are soft personalities. We call it soft personalities. That's what it falls under personal attribute. Someone who is self-motivated, focused, resilient. These are personal attributes. So when you in your CV writing, you don't just present only skills. You present both your skill side and your personal characteristics, what we refer to as personal attribute. So that when you have a skill and you are such a person, you are such a person who is goal oriented and result oriented. You are such a person who is self-motivated. You are such a person who can work as in a team, and also you can work independently. You are such a person who can multitask. Those personal attributes are also in high demand. We want someone who has the ability to be self-motivated. You don't always desire to be motivated. You don't always you are not always the type that needs motivation before you go out to go the extra mile to do what you ought to do. So we are talking about here someone with your personal attributes and at the same time with your skills that are highly related to the job. And I want to state this. I strongly recommend this for fresh graduates, graduate entry personnel. If you are watching me this night, you are a fresh graduate. Please note this. Every skill you have as a fresh graduate, I'm saying this, as a fresh graduate, if I'm preparing CV for experienced graduates who have been in the industry, there are skills I might not bother to put because their experience will speak louder than their skills. Take note of that. For those who have been in the industry, like me now, if I'm to submit a CV somewhere, anywhere, my experiences, the achievements I have had will speak so much loud that my skills and that might not really be needed. Because at my level, I will be supervising, I will be leading teams. So I will be delegating certain tasks that if it's analytical works, if it's something like that, I will delegate it to the analyst, junior analyst. When they finish, they bring it to my table. I just peruse it using my analytical insight, using my analytical mindset, and then peruse it and check, and then we can vet it. But for fresh graduates, every skill you have is important. For fresh graduates, I'm emphasizing on this night. So if you are preparing a CV for fresh graduate, you need to advise them. You are there not just only one who is writing a CV, you are also there to provide professional advice. You are also there to provide professional counsel, to tell them what and what is needed. I have write a lot of CV for fresh graduates. I will be the one to let them know things that is work experience. Some of them don't know that their IT is work experience. Some of them don't know that when they are at home during the holiday and they help their parents in their business, in their parents' businesses, some of them don't know that that is also work experience as well. Some of them don't know that when they are in school, they did some voluntary jobs or they volunteer to be part of a program, work as a volunteer team for a program, for a conference, or for an outreach and stuff like that. They don't know that those stuff are work experience. So as a professional, you guide them, you let them know you have experiences that you don't even know. Some doesn't know that their service year is also work experience. So when I look at the CV, I ask them, what is your work? I am not seeing your service year experience here. Where is your work experience during your service year? Most of them don't know. that service year as well is also part of 1 year work experience. And then, if you are watching me this night and you are still serving, you are a serving corps member, or you are about to pass out, please get this. Meet your employer. I'm about to share something very important. And those of us who have served, if you can still go back to your employer and get it, very important. If you can still go back to when you did your IT, your internship, and get this thing that I want to talk about now, it will go a long way. If you are a serving corps member, please meet your employer. As you are about to pass out, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 week towards your passing out, meet your employer. Tell your employer to give you recommendation letter. Letter of recommendation. Letter of recommendation. Those of us in my mentorship group, these are certain stuffs that I will be exposing us to, how to draft out a recommendation letter. So that most of the recruiters, most of the employers I know, will ask you to go and write and bring to them to sign and stamp. So let them know that, sir, please, I need a recommendation letter. And that is one of the letters that shows that during your service year, you truly served effectively. That scores you high during the interview. So please, if you're a corps member now, you are serving or you have served, and you can still go back to where you serve and get that letter. Or during your internship, you can get that from the company. That will go a long way to set you apart from the rest of persons during interview. We call it recommendation letter. I will be dealing with that as we proceed in this mentorship section with those in my mentorship group. How you can leverage this document is very, very important. Some of us, when you are applying for academic masters abroad, some universities will require what they call work reference letter. That work reference letter is the same as recommendation letter. In other words, a recommendation, a verdict from your previous employer stating how you are, the rate at which you are, the kind of personality you are, whether you are such a productive person. Very, very important. All right. Now, for this particular aspect, this is how I encourage us to position our skill sets. Your skill set and your personal attributes, structure it this way, don't put it there. Then after this, you see what we have here: leadership. If you have been in any leadership position, or your client, you ask them these questions. Because most of them might not know that these things are needed for a CV. But for a resume, you don't need this. For a CV, this is needed. For a resume, you stop here and then move to hobbies and then referees available request. For a resume, but for a CV, which is my point of focus this night, because we have CV, we are British oriented, mostly what we use here is CV, and most of us in the West African joining me here, what we use is mostly CV. So if you ask your client, or if it's you, if you have been in any leadership position, like this person you can see here is Assistant General Corps Liaison Officer. When she served in Lagos, Assistant General Corps Liaison Officer. If you're a CLO Corps Liaison Officer, or maybe you are a coordinator in your fellowship in the mosque, in the fellowship, in the department, in school, if you have been into any leadership, a recognized leadership position, you put it here. That shows you have had leadership experience. It's part of what builds your portfolio. That shows you have had leadership experience. You don't just have leadership skill. You also have leadership experience. You have led a team. Even if it's a team of 10, a team of 20, you have led a team. You have had some level of leadership experience, which also scores your CV high. So that is this leadership experience. So you put what you have here and that, and then I strongly recommend that you state one or two achievements you had during that leadership tenure. What one or two is achievement you had during that leadership tenure. I remember I remember vivid. I wrote a CV for someone just on Sunday. Is for academic masters, and in that CV I put leadership, and the person is a leader. He was the leader, or I think he was the leader or stuff. I can't remember the name they call it. He's a leader of physics club. I think it's physics club. Yes, it's physics club. And one of the achievements there is that he pioneered and coordinated the first physics library for that club. It's an achievement. During his leadership tenure, he pioneered and coordinated in establishing the first library for that club. Is something an achievement. So if you can pick one or two achievements you had during your tenure and then you put it under your leadership, that also is very, very recommendable. Then if you have received award, this is for CV, not for the resume. If you have received award, please also bring it up. Maybe you are the best graduating student in your department, or the best graduating student of your faculty, or the overall best in your schools. In that school you put it. Another example, or maybe you receive award during your service year. For example, those of us, maybe you serve under MCAM, that's Muslim stuff, and then NCCF, Catholic, and the likes. And during your leadership tenure, you receive an award of excellence, award of service, award of meritorious service. You receive those awards, or not the award they give in department, not those awards you receive during undergraduate days, best couple, best dress, and that. No, those are not what we are talking about. We are talking about a professional award, recognized award from a recognized institution, such as those recognized fellowship under the umbrella of NYSC, those within your church or the mosque or within an organization. Maybe when you did IT, you were given an award as the best intern in that organization. You put it there. Is part of your portfolio, is part of your profile, building your profile in your CV. So if you have had any award, that should reflect as well. Another component of a professional CV, which is optional if you have it, is if you have done any research or have published any article or book. If you have done any research or have published any article or book, you put it there. You put it under your CV. Research/publication. What that we have is research/publication. You state the topic of your research or the book you publish, and remember to put the ISBN number and then the date of publish, the date the book was published. Now, those of us that have written an e-copy book, you might ask me, what of I have written a book, but it was published, it's been published in Amazon Kindle, it's been sold in Amazon. You put it there. Put it in your CV. You state the platform where it is. In the Amazon platform, you can put the link. If you have the link to that place, you put the link to get access to the book once it is being published on Amazon. So if you have written a book, even if it's not physically printed out, but it's been published on any of the sites, recognized websites, any of the recognized websites, you have written articles but that are not published in Nigeria dailies, but any recognized sites in the world, you put it there also. All right, those are and then the next one is if you're a member of a recognized institution, association like ICANN, like PMI, like chartered institutes, chartered institutes of NEBOSH safeties. If you're a member of any recognized institution, like ICANN, a member of any recognized institution like CIPM, that's a Chartered Institute of Personnel Management in Nigeria. They are the body that handles personnel management in Nigeria, CIPM. If you're a member of any of these recognized associations, Nigeria Society of Engineers, you're a member of the body of your course, maybe you finish as a mathematics graduate and you're a member of Mathematics Association of Nigeria, you're a member of any recognized institution, association, Rotary Club, Rotary organization, you're a member of a recognized institution, you put it there. Membership, you put it there. Membership, maybe associate member, chartered member, a fellow of computer professionals of Nigeria, you put it there under the caption called membership. If you're a chartered member of computer professionals of Nigeria, you put it there. A fellow, whatsoever membership you have should appear under your membership. Kindly, if you are following me up till now, let me know you are getting value for tonight's section. That will encourage me. Drop in the chat box and let me know that you are getting value. That alone will encourage me and make me to understand that I'm not just shouting, I'm not just speaking, I'm passing knowledge, I'm affecting life. That is my motivation. Let me see your chat. Let me drop in the chat box that you are getting value and watching me this night. If you are not yet subscribed to the channel, kindly do so so as to be getting some of these webinars that we will be holding in this channel. Kindly do so. All right, we proceed. The next after these ones that I have explained here is your hobby/interest. Some of us take this place for granted. I remember writing CV for someone and the person sent me his hobbies. What I saw there was not just I just smiled, and then I know what to do already. I know the kind of hobbies to put for the job he's applying for. I know the kind of hobbies to put for the job he's applying for. All right, thank you, Lawal. I'm getting value, much appreciated. I appreciate your response. Let's keep the response coming. If you are getting value, let me know. Now, the hobbies/interests, in this place, most of us take it lightly. We think that in this place is where you are just free to put anything. Nothing in your CV should be done haphazardly. Nothing in your CV should be done without focus. Everything in your CV should be focusing on the job you are applying for. So in your CV, your hobby/interest is that subtle place that powerful recruiters, professional recruiters look at, because they know that most applicants, most job seekers don't understand that this session is where we look at to see your type of person. You can come there and say dancing and you want to work in, you are applying to work in the banking sector or in the financial sector, in the banking industry. What is dancing as a hobby contributing to the job? Please note this: any hobby you are going to use, any hobby you should use, is a hobby that has a way of contributing to your success on that job. Don't just use anyhow hobby. Either that hobby is contributing to your mental capacity building, hobbies like playing chess, hobbies like playing the game of Monopoly, hobbies like playing Scrabble. Those hobbies are building your mental capacity. Or hobby that has to do with interrelationship. All right, I can see, yes, I'm learning new things tonight. Thank you, much appreciated. Now, hobbies that has a way of contributing to the job, not just hobbies like, and let's say I love football, I like watching football, I play football as well, and I love football, and I'm applying for a job in the tech space, and I put watching football as hobby. No, that will not sell me fast. But somebody who if I say my hobby is watching football, and another person who wants to work in the tech space said his hobby is coding, that he has hobby, one of his hobbies is coding and researching, because as a tech personnel in the tech world, you will make research, and then the person puts his hobby is coding, writing codes, that he just have that hobby for writing codes and making research and then reading or meeting people. That person will be scored higher than me that put my hobby to be watching football, playing ludo, and then maybe singing. Those hobbies are not related to my field that I'm applying for. But if I'm applying into the entertainment industry as entertainment industry, then those hobbies can help me. I can use that experience in singing, in dancing, in the entertainment industry. So please note this: the hobby and slash interest you use, it should be something of importance, should be something that is related to the job. It's not something haphazardly. It's something that should be speaking well of you as a professional that has relationship with the job, relationship with the industry, and relationship with the organization. Very, very important. And finally, under the components of a professional CV is your referees. And I need to establish something here. For fresh graduates, please note this: I strongly recommend you provide 2 referees, especially if you have persons of a higher class, persons of a class within that industry you are applying for. Let me share an experience with us. I remember that few years ago we were looking for a deal in one of the universities in Nigeria to be a part of that faculty, and we are looking for a way to meet the dean of that faculty. We already preparing a proposal to meet the dean of that faculty, to have a chat, and to enter into partnership with that faculty in providing some specific trainings and then the gadgets for that faculty. And within that process, we are also recruiting. And one of the applicants put in his referee that particular dean, the name of that dean and his position, and in that school as well. Immediately we saw that CV, we put that CV aside, and that the person will be called for interview. While in the interview, one of the questions we asked that person is that, this person in your referee, do you know him? The person says yes. How well do you know this person? He said, I know him too well. Can you speak? Can you meet with him? Can he speak on your behalf? Can he say yes? Do you have his number? The person says yes. All right. Can you call him? The person right there call him, and they spoke as per someone that they know each other. Then let me tell you guys, the rest become history. That guy got the job simply because he will be a link between us and the dean. And I don't need to tell us the end product of that proposal. So one of the things I encourage fresh graduates, especially if you have both your clients, if your client is a fresh graduate, give them this information. That is what makes you a professional in this field. That's what makes you a professional in CV writing. This information are handy, not just only for your sake alone, but for you as a freelancer, as one who want to monetize this skill of CV writing and the other ones we will be learning as we proceed. So you let the person know, for fresh graduates, that they should provide a referees, 2 referees, if they have those who are within that industry of a higher class, that will in a way open certain doors for them. So I recommend for fresh graduates to include 2 referees on their CVs. But for experienced graduates, for those of us who have been in the industry for long, you can leave it like you are seeing it here, available on request. Available on request. And that is on the aspect of a component of a good CV. If you have joined me up to this moment, please drop in the chat box and let me know if you have any question. Feel free, drop the question on the chat box. I will attempt to read. As regards to the components of a CV, I might have said certain things that confuse you, certain things that you didn't really understand. Please go ahead, ask questions. And while I wait for our questions, let me state this, that in your work experience, it has to start with the most recent. We strongly recommend that you write your CV in the reverse chronology. I did not talk about different CV formats, which I might deal with later. You write your CV in a reverse chronology. What do we mean by reverse chronology? Is that you start from the most recent. Your work experience will start from the most recent, your certifications from the most recent, your qualification, educational qualification start also from most recent. So you have to follow this format. And you look at this here, you see the structure, the arrangement of this CV. Anything that has to do with dates are being positioned one separate side where it can easily be seen. Anything on that is positioned separately where it can easily be seen. So when you look at the structure of the CV, and then remember to use color to separate your headings. Remember to use color to separate your headings. Please remember, very important, I strongly recommend that. It's not a law. I'm not saying it's a must. It's not a law, but that will make it easier for the reader, the recruiter, the employer, to easily know each sections. That, okay, we are in work experience, easily identify sections. So each header, each sections, I strongly recommend that you use a different color from the body of the CV. So these are certain aspects that we should be able to understand. Now, I'm still expecting questions. If you have any question, feel free to drop it. If not, I will proceed. Tonight, I did not expect that I will have this network challenge. I don't expect that I will have this network challenge. Okay. Now, these are components of a CV which we have handled this night. Let's delve into the practical part. I'm not going to finish it this night because of time. This is already 10:36. I wanted this session to stop 10:30. I wanted it to stop 10:30, but a bit of network glitch. I will be stopping any moment from now. So ask your questions. But let me bring out the CV that we are going to use for this practical section. I'm going to prepare this CV from scratch. I'm going to prepare this CV from scratch. The owner of this CV is one of the persons in the mentorship group for this course, in the mentorship group, and she granted me the permission to use her CV for this section, and by so doing she won 15,000 naira of my service, because what I charge for drafting CV, for designing and creating CVs for people professionally is 15,000 naira. That's what I charge. She has just won that tonight. So we will be using this as a guide on what we are going to use to prepare a full-blown CV. I'm going to handle this from beginning till end, but we are not going to finish it this night due to time. We are going to continue from here tomorrow, immediately tomorrow, and please, by 9:30 tomorrow we will be live. By 9:30 tomorrow we will be live. Okay. All right, Solomon, I'm seeing your question. You said those serving in school, can they get recommendation letter too? Of course. Of course. A school is an organization, is an institution. Of course, you should also get, you should ask for it, provided you know you are serving effectively. You are not. That's what we use to determine those who serve. Mostly is part of mostly what we use to determine those who serve effectively and those who didn't serve. Because if you didn't serve effectively, your employer will not recommend you. He will not give you that recommendation letter. So it's for everybody, whether you are serving in school or in an organization, in a private firm. School is private as well. Let's say whether you are serving in school or in an organization that is not a school. So everybody is open for that. Thank you for that question. All right, someone says I'm getting new insights tonight. Thank you, much appreciated. Another knowledge acquired. Many thanks, much appreciated. I appreciate that. That's the motivation. Okay, now when I'm going to be carrying us through as I prepare this CV. The first thing I do when getting a CV is to prepare. In preparing a CV is to press Ctrl A. Now in this, I will come to press Ctrl A to select every of that. Now in preparing a CV, I will now begin to take us into details. I just took us through components of CV. Now, I'm going to get us into details. Now, in CV writing, in preparing documents across the globe, there are 3 most acceptable font style. If you are here, you don't know the basic Microsoft Office, please go and learn it. If you have known me before now, you will know that I'm a preacher of it, that every graduate must at least have the basic Microsoft Office knowledge. That's Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Access. I'm a preacher of that. So in me drafting the CV, there are 3 most accepted font style across the globe. Whether you are writing it for Canadian CV, you are using it for academic masters for Canada's, or UK, Nigeria, China, and the likes. There are 3 most acceptable font style across the globe. The first one, which I always use, is Times New Roman. Times New Roman is generally accepted. The second one, number 2, is Arial. Arial, that's a font style called Arial. That's number 2. Number 3 is Calibri. Calibri. These 3 font styles are highly recommended. The one that is used here is Cambria, but the one I'm talking about is this, the Calibri. This, the third one. There is another one called Times New Roman, Once you type TI, you will see it, Times New Roman, and the another one is this, Area. These are three font styles I strongly recommend, and is also generally accepted. Not just only CV, preparing any document. If you are writing statement of purpose, if you are writing personal statement, if you are to submit a writing sample, and that for those of us applying for academic masters, those fonts are I strongly recommend them. So what I do first is to Control A and come to this place, set up my font. I set up my font, and then the next thing I do is I will also press Control A, set up my font size. In the font size, there are two recommended font size. Two recommended font size is either 11 or 12 for any official document. Either 11 or 12, but for me, whenever I write CVs, I use 12. 12 is mostly accepted, mostly recommended. 12 is mostly accepted and recommended, so I select 12. Now, every of the stuff I have, because I will tell the person, send me your CV, your previous CV that you have, forward it to me if you have. If you don't have, then send me these informations on my phone, or you forward it to my email. I will send the person the informations I need, send the person the samples of CVs, and then the person send me the information I start to write. Now, after having formatted this, the next thing I will do is to come to the name. The name is the aspect of the CV that is permitted to have a higher font size. The name of a CV is permitted to have a higher font size, and is on this name that I will have to wrap up this session this night. So I recommend from 18 to 22. 18 to 22. So on this, okay, this person CV, I need to set up the page. I will do that tomorrow, because this shouldn't break into the next line. It shouldn't do that. Or if I make it 20, that is the aspect. Now, another thing I want to say as regards to the CV I'm working on, you select the same format. If you are using left align, let it be left align. If you are using center align, let it be center align. Is something that is very important. Like this one, let it be. If I go up to what you see, that I just want to scroll it so that you see that that's the names and that are left align. So if you are using center align, let it be all through. Use center align all through. That means the professional summary have also to be the center align. But for me, I strongly recommend, I mostly use left alignment. So it's on this note that I will be stopping the section this night, because our time is already 10:45, and I want to appreciate each and every one of us that made it to tonight's section. I want to appreciate you. Tomorrow we are going to complete this CV from the title down to the last section. Kindly feel free to drop your question, reach out to me. My name is Franklin. I'm the lead consultant, Soluma Consulting. I'm a HR, I'm a recruitment consultant, a tech consultant as well. Feel free to reach out to me anytime on advice, especially those of you in my mentorship group. I will be willing to help you to scale up this skill. And if you are still watching us till this time and you are yet not subscribed to the channel, please, I will want to ask that you do so. Subscribe to the channel, share our link, encourage what we are doing on this channel. That alone is the motivation we have to continue to be impacting to lives, to continue to be helping job seekers to be able to be equipped with the necessary information and knowledge they need. I have been in interviews and I see that a lot of job seekers lack necessary knowledge, necessary information. Their CVs are not really well organized, and most of them lose out on the first interview, which is their CV. So I want to help as many as possible, and you joining me can help us to reach as many that needs this knowledge, that needs this skill, by asking them to be part of what we are doing here. I really appreciate us by being with me even till this time. This is something I love to do, and this is something I'm committed to do. Thank you for staying till this moment. I really appreciate you. See you tomorrow, the same time, 9:30 p.m. We are here, and then we continue. You can set your notification even on this channel. Put notification for subscribers so that once we go live, once we schedule our live meeting, you will get notified. Thank you, and do enjoy your night and have a blissful night rest. I remain Franklin. See you guys tomorrow.